show. Hail, hail! Happy New Year! The Celts are here, and sorry I've not got my usual green and white garb on today, but Fridays are very busy days for Quinny 3001, and I am right off the back of what's normally my biggest stream of the week, Friday 1 to 3, and we're coming straight into this one a bit earlier than normal. We normally do the Celtic weekly catch-up or the press conference watch-along type stream, normally around 5 or 6 on a Friday, but with the derby right around the corner, there is no time to waste because we had Martin O'Neill cancelling all of his public appearances, and Celtic have also had a new signing walk through the door today, and you know there's just been tons happening. There's no room for error coming into the weekend. There's no rest for the wicked. We'll have a wee listen to Julian Araujo. We'll have a wee chat about him, where he fits into the system, what he offers. Julian Araujo is a player I've actually watched a fair amount of. I think I watched him however many seasons he was in MLS, like 2 or 3 at least. And I watched him at Las Palmas quite frequently when he was there also. So a player I know a fair bit about, and a transfer I am very excited by. So we'll listen to the lad. We'll have a look at where he could fit into the team generally. We'll then listen to the manager and try and figure out what's going to happen this weekend. As always, guys, audience participation is welcome. Good to see you all live and loud in the chat today. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and share and retweet and all that good stuff. If you're watching this live or after we've been live, it really does mean a lot to support and helps grow the channel, helps support everything that we do here at CeltsAreHere. I can see lots of you wishing Happy New Year. I've not listened to the press conference yet. I've seen that there's a big clip that's went viral, and I'm very eager to listen to that with you, and I'll wait until more of these show up and we'll get to the press conference and the match preview. But first of all, let's welcome in Julian Araujo.
Julian Araujo, welcome to Celtic. You've been here training for a couple of days now. How have you settled into your new surroundings?
Yeah. You've been here training now for a couple of days. What? And this couldn't have been this morning. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's been good. Obviously, the players, the staff, everybody involved in this club has made it an easy transition.
Chad Hogan.
You know, a club like Celtic is sometimes it can be intimidating, but I think everybody has made it very easy for me. I'm happy to be here, happy to be around everybody, and excited to get to work.
Yeah, you're here midpoint in the season until the end of the season. How much are you looking forward to what will be a really challenging few months?
Yeah, exactly. I think for me, it's just getting as much playing time, helping the team out as much as possible. You know, I think. I just want to do whatever I can to give my best, to get wins. Obviously, give the fans what they're looking for. You know, the standard that this club holds is very high, so I'm just hoping to get to that standard and to maintain my level and hopefully bring success to this club.
Love that. He's up for it.
You come here on loan from Bournemouth in the Premier League, but you know, you played over 100 games in the MLS with LA Galaxy. What is your style of football that you hope to bring to the team?
Yeah.
This will be nice to listen to him, right? But love the Chad Hogan chat coming back. And he's a full-on American, obviously nationalized for Mexico. And generally you find that with the dual nationals in North America, that the better ones tend to pick Mexico, because Mexico just generally, maybe in the last little generation or so, America have won a few more Gold Cups and done a bit better. But generally Mexico is like the big country, you know. It's kind of like us trying to get Elliot Andersons and Harvey Barneses. If Mexico want them, they go to Mexico. Generally is how these things go. So, yeah.
I think just I like to be aggressive. I like to go up and down the flank. Obviously, playing as a right back, I like to overlap my winger. You know, defensively, I like to be strong, hard in duels, and basically just someone that doesn't turn down from anything. You know,
and I love that he describes himself as that, because this is how I remember Julian Araujo at Galaxy and Las Palmas. Is although like an attacking fullback, because there's no two ways about it. He's no shy. He can defend.
I think keeping the ball is one of my styles, as well as playing simple. But I think for me, at the end of the day, I want to do whatever I got to do to win the game.
Yeah, it sounds like your style will fit in right here. I'm sure you know about the club, but specifically, have you been chatting?
He likes to overlap his winger. Mate, you are the winger. It's so true.
I'm thinking Bournemouth, perhaps Ryan Christie and Ben Doak have been talking to you about the club.
Yeah, of course. I've spoken to Ryan, obviously, as soon as the news came out that it was a possibility. I've already known that Celtic is a big club. It's a historic club. There's one Mexican that actually played here, Efrain Juarez. Yeah, I mean, he spoke very highly of the club, and he told me what it would be like, and
Agent Efrain Juarez. Love a bit of that. Love a bit of that.
It hasn't been surprising, it's where it is because of the people that are around it.
Yeah, the first game that you come up against, if you're selected, will be the Glasgow derby, the first home Glasgow derby of the season. Thrown right into the Lions then.
Yeah.
I love this as well. Chat is on form today, by the way. Nachos on the right, sriracha sauce on the left. Blind leading the blind. What's that in relation to? Sorry, I might have missed that. And yeah, very formidable defender in his clips. Good to hear. I've not watched his clips.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that Ryan told me about. It's a do or die game. This is what people in Glasgow live for. And yeah, I'm excited because in my culture, Mexican culture, these are the type of games that we're born to play in, and these are the games I've been waiting for my whole life.
Well, good luck.
Yes. There's a little bit of that we've not had from Nancy. Now, Nancy hasn't actually officially been unveiled yet, but I do think in the whole comparison contrast with other Celtic managers and the situation we're in, it's kind of unavoidable that this repeatedly comes up. But that was one thing. I even say this about Bernardo and one or two of the current players that we have, but you know when someone gets it on arrival, or when someone has tasted it before showing up or whatever. And Nancy, I'm not too sure about that, although he's followed AJ, had Wanyama as a player and all the rest of it. But this guy, he knows that temperature. He knows that extra little bit that will be required here. And I'd love to hear it. When was the last time this guy played? Great question. Let's just go and have a look at it. Now, I'm going to say this first and foremost. I replied to somebody on Twitter with something similar, right? But in all sincerity, from Scott Sinclair's to bloody Iheanacho's, recent minutes, I'm not last season 24-25. Yeah, last season 12 appearances for Bournemouth. Bournemouth did very well last year, and I can't remember exactly why he didn't always play. It might have been an injury or two, might not have been good enough. I've seen some Bournemouth fans being quite disparaging about him at that level, and fair enough. But yeah, he's not actually. He's featured once in the cup for Bournemouth this season, and not had a national cap since the Gold Cup, which I think was this summer. So not anytime recently, but like I say, it's all about the level guys are coming from. Not getting into that Bournemouth team isn't any problem, to be honest with you. And the style of the Bournemouth team, even the style of the Las Palmas team, I suppose 27. I think a lot of that would have been off the bench. He was not playing for Villa. But yeah, I think you look at guys like this and how good they, because what the thing is with Scott Sinclair and even Iheanacho to some extent is, even although they're not at their best, you can see the level they've came from, the level they operate at, and that if they can hit the ground running, they can be themselves. That level will be way ahead of a lot of what we have and a lot of what we're against. So it's all about the application. It's all about the how fit the guy is and how committed he'll be.
Tell us.
So I'm not too worried about his lack of appearances this season, to be honest. It doesn't give me any reason to be worried at all beyond injury situation, personally. Yeah. CWO, good to see you. Nice comment as well. I'll let you read that one on screen. But Araujo was only speaking from what he's seen in MLS, and Araujo, I think he would have probably left MLS as Nancy came into the crew, but generally he will know Nancy a bit more from Montreal. Yeah, again, but Man City and Aston Villa fans would have told us how bad Scott Sinclair was. Middlesbrough fans told us how bad Iheanacho was going to be. And not that Iheanacho is some amazing guy or anything, but even if Iheanacho is like the worst case scenario, or like Sriracha is like the worst case scenario for this guy, where he plays 2 or 3 games, gets injured, plays 3 or 4 games, gets injured. Those games he plays, like he will give something. I don't really have much concern around the guy, the level, the talent.
How it feels to be here as a Celtic player and how the move first came about?
Yeah, obviously, my agent gave me a call and told me that Celtic was interested, and I was very excited. Obviously, it's a historic club, a club where a lot of success comes. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to be here. Help the fans or help my team, and hopefully bring a little bit of joy to the fans, and just excited to work.
Again, I said this as well in the little tweet I put out earlier today, right? But when we signed Alistair Johnson, at best, Alistair Johnson was a top 3 right back in the MLS. Definitely a top 5, no 2 ways about it. There is absolutely no question that Julian Araujo was number 1. There's absolutely no question. He left LA Galaxy for Barca. He could have went to a lot of different places. This was a very highly coveted player coming out of the league, which doesn't happen that often. For all the talents MLS has, big clubs don't generally circle. It just doesn't happen. They normally let them go to Belgium or the Championship in England, see how they get on, and then maybe deal with it from there. So, like, if we signed this guy 2 or 3 years ago, it would have cost, mad money. And again, I add the Alistair Johnson thing in for reference, because even since then, Alistair Johnson's played for us and got a lot better, right? Since then, he's been in the Barca squad, and Barca wanted him in the squad. But Barca's FFP stuff and yada yadas, all the rest of it, players have been wasted and washed at Barca for the last 3 or 4 years. So I don't hold not making it at Barca against them, because I know that they tried to factor him in pre-season tours and tried to get my place in the squad. And at Las Palmas, it was very good when I seen him, very good. So I can only tell you what I've seen of the guy. I've not seen him, and even if he was crap for Bournemouth, who cares? Because who's been our best players? Christopher Ayer could barely get a game for Brentford. Ryan Christie, an important player for Bournemouth, but not nailed on. And the list goes on. Odsonne Edouard couldn't get into the Crystal Palace team. Kieran Tierney, at best, was like vice captain in a poor Arsenal. And then when Arsenal got better, was third choice left back at best, again, behind midfielders getting fashioned into position. So him not being good enough for Bournemouth says absolutely nothing about his ability to play for us. Nothing. That's not fair. That's not fair.
What has the manager said to you, and how involved was he in the process of your signing?
He was involved. I had a conversation with him before coming, obviously. I wanted to know where
and how involved was he in the process of
joy to the fans, and just excited to work.
What has the manager said to you, and how involved was he in the process of your signing?
He was involved. I had a conversation with him before coming, obviously. I wanted to know where I would be playing, what style. But yeah, I played against him in the MLS. He's had teams where are always attack-minded, a team that runs, a team that are hard to break down. So it's I have a lot of confidence in him. I know he trusts me. I know he knows my playing style. So yeah, I was excited to get to work with him.
Another little bit of context that does come into this is Julian Araujo's time at LA Galaxy was not a good LA Galaxy. He might have played with Ibra for a season, but Galaxy, for the time Julian Araujo was there, were not a good team. They won the league after he left recently. So if he struggled to be against Nancy's team, he's also been in not a great team at the time.
Where does he see you fitting in to the shape will you be playing? As a right centre back, a right wing back?
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, obviously I've played both before in with the national team in Las Palmas. But yeah, just depending on the game and how he sees the game, I'm available to play wing back or in the back 3.
Please don't play him in the back 3. Please don't play him in the back 3. Now, there was a lot of comments from you guys coming in saying, "Oh, better than Ralston, anything would be better than Ralston," and all that. And I was sitting here thinking, well, he's not going to play instead of Ralston. He'll play instead of Yang. Maybe he will play instead of Ralston. Would that work better? Oh, I don't know. I'm getting the fear about the thought of that. Not that he'd be bad at it, but just it's asking for problems, man. You want this guy to come in for Yang and yeah, I think that would just make things way more harmonious in the team. Yeah, I think he'll replace Yang as well in the team. He plays Ralston. Oh, I don't know what that's in reference to. Sorry, but I know everything's quite a quick pace at the moment. Yeah, he's got the obviously chat down as well. And it is concerning that we've not got a striker in first. I totally echo that, by the way. And I was close to saying, will we do it? Guys, I was close to saying, I don't know if you've seen me on Christmas, but I kind of made a right mess of my hair. My hair's never been this long. And I was going to do some stupid thing that people do on social media and say, like, I'm not going to cut my hair until Celtic sign a striker. Will we do it? Will we vote on it? Yay or nay? Striker haircut. What do you guys think? Should I do it? Keep the hair until we sign a striker? How's his hamstring injury? Well, that's an interesting detail. Let's go and find that out. Transfermarkt. Julian Araujo. And I know it's not an easy time to be optimistic. But honestly, guys, this is a good signing. This is like Frimpong. This is like Mexican Frimpong. Career. Opponents, teammates. No, what do we want? Stats. Injury. There we go. A hamstring in 24-25 at Bournemouth. Missed 21 games. Wow. Yeah, big injury last year. See, I think he did half okay when he started, but maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm just... and then with Barca Las Palmas, missed 10 games through a hamstring injury in 23-24 between the back end of March to, through the summer period, winter period here, and, back end of March, fitness.
How did you find it playing against Wilfried Nancy's sides?
Yeah, very difficult. Very difficult. He's a person that wants to attack, a person that's very intense. That gives his player confidence. So yeah, I'm excited to get to work with him and hopefully learn from him.
It obviously hasn't quite gone to plan for him so far. It's still early stages, but from what you've seen of his teams previously, are you quite confident that he'll be able to get it right here?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm confident in him. I'm sure the whole squad is behind his back. I've heard great things. I've asked a couple of teammates of mine, players that have played against him, players that know him before I came here, and they've all said only good things about him. And when I've had that call with him, I got positive vibes, and I'm very confident that some good can come out of this. Obviously, it's a new manager, a new team. It's always, you need time, just like players. We need time to adapt to our teammates. But yeah, obviously. We trust him. I trust him, so I know he can turn this around.
Of those people you spoke to, what were the qualities they said that the manager had that means you previously found success? Yeah,
the qualities is obviously just his playing style. The way that he plays with the back five. Obviously, his wing backs are versatile, can go up and down. He likes to keep the ball from one side to the other side, to be patient, to attack when the...
Not got to Nancy yet. We'll do that after this. Then we'll come into... after this, we'll have a look at where Araujo fits. We'll listen to Nancy. We'll preview the game.
When the attack is right, to defend, not always to defend at a high intensity, but to maintain and know when to defend and when to press. But yeah, you can see it in the training sessions. I've been here for 2-3 days now, and you can see the intensity that he tries to give to the players, and I'm sure it'll do us good.
A huge game tomorrow. How much are you looking forward to potentially being a part of that?
Yeah, so obviously I know what this game is about, but as being here, I'm excited to be a part of this game. I'm excited not only for this game, but for the rest of the second half of the season. I know tomorrow's going to be a big game, obviously, but we got to stay humble, keep our feet on the ground, and know what we got to do. Went over what we needed to do today. So I think tomorrow's just to implement it and to be confident and go out there and play a game.
Are you going to need a few weeks to get up to speed, or are you ready to start tomorrow?
No, I'm ready if the gaffer needs me.
If you have any indications yet, if he's intending to use yet?
I don't know yet.
Have you any links at all with Celtic?
What was that?
Previously, any links at all?
Oh yeah. I've had I think when I was in MLS, I had an opportunity to come to Celtic about 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
Who was the manager here?
Who was it?
Captain Ange, boss.
Wow. By the way, if we did, so was he first choice and then Alistair Johnson was second?
Goblin. Oh.
Maybe, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it just came about. It was more just like interest and got to my agent and stuff like that. So,
And how did it not happen at that point?
oh, it was just, I looked at all my options and what was best for me in my career, and I thought going to Barcelona came. I think it was in the last thing. So I think it was just I want to do whatever it takes, because I obviously came up through the academy at the Barca academy, and my goal was always to play for Barcelona. So as a kid, one of my dreams was to play for Barcelona, and I just said, let's do it.
Is the Old Firm game, Celtic Rangers game, something you?
So let's look at that quickly. He chose Barca over us. Fair. Okay. No one's going to hold that against him, I don't think. Profile. When did they actually make the move? He moved to Barcelona from Los Angeles Galaxy on the 31st of January 23. Guys, you'll be able to find streams on this channel where I would have said, let's go for Araujo. Date joined. January 23, same window. There's no way we were selling Juranovic and buying 2 right backs, eh? So we'd obviously registered interest, got a sniff that he wasn't coming to us, and then went for AJ.
You're always, used to kind of growing up watching on TV. Is it something that's quite big over in?
Oh yeah,
in the States?
It's big worldwide. I think this game is something that everybody looks forward to playing, and it's a game, not just this game, but derbies are games that that we want to live and we want to experience. So for me, it's obviously just another game, but I want to be a part of it, and hopefully we can get the 3 points.
You mentioned you've been here for a few days now with a couple of training sessions. I just wonder how you assess the squad, what you think of the players that Wilfried has here.
Yeah, everybody has quality. I mean, you're playing for a club like Celtic, obviously you have the quality to play for them. So yeah, they're all good guys. They've made the transition very easy for me. I'm still in a hotel. I'm still doing the transition and the moving around. But yeah, everybody, the staff, everybody that's involved with Celtic have made it very easy for me. So yeah, the players are very good, and I'm sure whoever the starting 11 and anybody that comes on is going to be ready for tomorrow.
Considering the training sessions you've had, if you are called upon to start a player apart against Rangers tomorrow, do you feel as you're up to speed enough with what the manager wants from his team that you can go in and make an impact straight away?
I'm going to give you everything I can. I'm going to do whatever I can. If I need to, I don't know, if I fall, if I collapse on the pitch, then I collapse on the pitch, but I'll give you everything I need to be able to, stay up to speed with my teammates.
Yes, bring it on, wee man. Welcome to the club, Julian Araujo. This is going to be exciting, guys. This is going to be exciting. It would be great if we got a striker in today or yesterday or 3 days ago or whenever we signed this guy. But yeah, he's up for it, man. I will drop on the pitch for this. I want to give everything. He's given nothing away. Love it. I'm rather impressed. I say a wee bit bias coming into this because I kind of know a bit about the guy beforehand. And this is for me when I really see him fitting in, because if we look at the defence, like Inamura's maybe on his way out. Vickers we can't think about this year. Trussie's been nailed in here. But it's the right side of the defence that's been broken. Now, I think we all know that AJ is the real answer to this defensive situation here. But if you think about the way Nancy has been using the team so far, if Yang has had to come off this wing, this right side position, it's been Colby Donovan that's came on for him. Now, I think this is going to hamper the minutes of Donovan more than anything. I think Ralston starts against Rangers at the weekend. In future, though, this will be AJ. And AJ and Araujo as a right-hand side, I think it's pretty lethal, to be honest with you. I think so many teams would really struggle to handle that defensively and offensively. I think it could be a really good partnership. And part of the thing we've been highlighting on the channel is the disconnect, the breakdown of communication between Ralston and Yang. And I don't, even though these guys haven't played together or whatever, but right back come right centre back, Alistair Johnson, with right back come right midfielder, Araujo, I think the breakdown in communication, the getting the end of the wrong stick thing won't happen as much. Some of these are hearing that AJ's out to the end of the season. If that is the case, then maybe Araujo. See if Araujo starts in the back three with Yang in front of him. I'm not going to lie. I will be really excited to see that, but I will be absolutely bricking it. I will be absolutely bricking it. It backfires in such a royal way. But you never know. The guy's tenacious. He is feisty. He's got a great delivery on him. He's got a great engine. And he'll be built for a Glasgow derby. I think over the years we've had some lovely derby debuts. I think the original Juninho might have been probably one of the best ones, a bit of a one-game wonder. But I was even thinking, didn't Salt play well in this circumstance against Rangers? And then that was like the only good game that he had. So I'm not super worried about chucking him in. It's more about where we're going to play him. I think this is, again, even if he is given his options, I think we really needed this because although I think even if you put Araujo in front of Ralston, you probably get a better Ralston. And I know that's not saying much and it probably won't be anything a lot of you want to hear. But a better Ralston is a better Ralston. And if that's all we've got to use in there, then the better he can be, the better for all of us. It's kind of how I would see it. So I'm more inclined to think this is going to be the way it goes. But he's really liked Yang. He's really liked Yang. I wouldn't be too surprised if he came off the bench, Araujo. It just makes like the most sense. But equally, the manager's needing a bit more right-hand side artillery. And the one thing about Yang's doing really good at being that late striker, coming in when the ball's coming from the left. He can appear on the right-hand side. And Araujo, has definitely got that kind of in him. But this guy will be able to give us on, the right-hand side of the pitch, we've had no distribution at all. Whether it be Araujo from right centre-back, whether it be Araujo from the right side, we will have a route to goal come out this side of the pitch now all of a sudden. And it'll give Rangers and anyone else we come against a real headache because the one thing Nancy's cracked, to use that tweet I was talking about the other day, is the left-hand side. Tierney, McKeown, and Dyson is working beautifully. We have nothing anywhere near like that on the right-hand side. And I'm hopeful that Araujo brings some of that symmetry that the team needs where we don't just think about all the goodness on the left and avoid the right, but hey, we can go down the right. Let's go hit it there. And yeah, let's go for it. Yeah, Hatate, did he debut against Rangers as well? I've forgotten that one maybe. And he scored, didn't he? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he did. He couldn't believe it. He had that face on him like, oh, what a debut. Yeah. Sometimes you wonder about people to say that there's only loanees coming in, that the board doesn't trust Nancy is so ridiculous. Yeah, Celtic do love loanees in general. And I think right now, if you're Celtic, it's like, what deals can you get done quickly? Because Nancy's already been on the record in one of his press conferences saying that he's going to give everyone in his squad until the last day of January before he's going to decide to bomb them and replace them. Essentially, now he's maybe exaggerating a bit for effect. But so I think he's worked out. I think with the Araujo one getting the green light, getting the rubber stamp, he's evaluated everything he needs to with these guys, I would say. He's worked all of this out and he's like, I need an Araujo. I need a right side there that will be a bit different. Feels like there's still a lot of juries out up top. We all can see we need somebody, of course. Hubba, I've kind of went over this again, so I don't want to be rude, but if you skip back, we kind of talk about everything. Audience participation on these videos is always welcome, and you're not the first one to raise that question, so we've already kind of wrestled with that. AJ was good against Rangers, yeah, straight after the Winter World Cup, wasn't it? Yeah, did AJ do the same? He might have done as well, actually. So, and thanks very much for the super sticker, by the way, Dan the Man. Really appreciate the support. Really appreciate the donation. Thank you very much. Mialby debut. This guy's not, you don't know that. I don't know. You don't know that. Maybe he's certainly not going to be all the way fit. Is he fitter than like Tierney was when he showed up? I don't think it's a dissimilar situation to maybe Tierney, actually. I'm not up on his injury status track record of the season, so I can't really comment on that much more than any of you guys could, but just digging around the internet like I could do just now with you. But yeah, I think this is a great addition, and I think it really does now. Like, we need another midfielder. I think we need another defender. What they look like and where they come from and when we get them is something else. But of course, we still need a striker. We spoke about on the channel, we had a mini series going through the festive period talking about the positions we needed. And this position was a massive one. Would I take Julian Araujo over, who was the other options we had? Freeman, Josh Mulligan. I think Freeman's probably going to be like Araujo last time, where we phone up, like, hey, Freeman. And he's like, oh, sorry, I've got Barca on the other line or something like that, you know. We kind of spoke about that in that video. So I'm not really worried that we've not went after Freeman because we're probably too late to the party. And Orlando are quite resolute to hold out on him. And Mulligan, we might be getting priced out of. We might wait until the summer for Mulligan. He did only move to Hibs in the summer, so that might be a tricky move to negotiate right now. So I like it. I like it in so many ways. I would like a buy option on it, but again, with him coming from Barca, Las Palmas, Bournemouth, and he's hopefully now going to get himself a World Cup place. Without having that buy option, it's hard to imagine it's going to happen unless he loves it here. He totally buys in, and not that much interest elsewhere comes for him. Then it could happen, but. And yeah, David, I'm feeling it. I'm trying to get a bit of that across as well. Like good players, if he's ready, he's fine. If this guy can hit the ground running, he will be good. I've seen enough. Take my word for it, please, for whatever that's worth. If he can deliver, if he can adapt, is probably the word, not deliver. This is a player we want. This is a player we want. I said the same thing about Negren, and I don't think he's been as unanimously loved as some other signings, but I think what we all seen of Negren when we signed him, we're getting. This guy is a final third player. He scores goals, he makes chances happen, and you can play him in a variety of positions, maybe some better than others. But Araujo very much comes into that same, like he's got enough track record, there's enough proof in the pudding, there's enough meat on the bones that he should be good enough. Now, anyone confident for tomorrow? This is where I pause because I've not heard from the manager yet. Now, I know there's some viral clips. A 7-minute clip went viral at the moment, so I've got no idea what we're in for. A lot of you guys in the chat are telling me we're unhinged. After I hear this, I will know how I feel.
Yeah. How excited are you? How much are you looking forward to your very first Old Firm game as Celtic manager?
Oh, really excited.
Do you know, that's a great question, and I don't think anyone truly knows the answer. There's even some suggestions that Tisdale could have been involved in O'Reilly. I think he might have been his manager at MK. And there was some suggestion somebody else was involved in MK. Was it Darren O'Day? No, I don't think it was him. But maybe it was. There was some other stray connection. I can't remember. But we've had dealings with Fulham before. You know, Moussa Dembele, Paddy Roberts. I know he went to City, but I think we were on the hook with him since he was at Fulham. So I'm not too sure, actually. It could be anyone.
You know, I have been watching this kind of game for many years, and now to be part of the game, this is amazing. I'm really excited by that.
With everything that's been going on with your future and all the pressure, as well as the league position, does this feel like the biggest game of your managerial career so far?
No, the next game is always the biggest game because,
mate. Now, see, when I did the last video, I was chatting, it was right at the end of the video, and I know less people watch the end and watch the beginning, right? But see his press conference comments after the Motherwell game that everyone was saying he's talking gibberish, he's lost the plot. I listened to all that and just thought, this guy just really wants to say no comment. And he was just saying everything but no comment. He just wanted to say nothing and get out of there. That's how I felt it, right? But seeing he's asked, is this the biggest game of your career? And he says, no, the next game's always the biggest. Number one, I get that he has to respect MLS Cup final when he won it and other things like that he's maybe had in his career. This is 100% the biggest game of his career. There's no platitudes, there's no cliches, there's no anything else. Now, yeah, maybe you don't want to put the magnitude on it and give the media something to circle you over, like, oh, he's admitted this game's big for him. And I get he's in a tricky situation there, but that's not the right answer, mate. That's just not the right answer.
This is always the next game that I have to prepare. So now I know that this is a rivalry. I know what does it mean, this turn of game, because like I said, I've been following this kind of game for many years, but I'm really excited by that.
How do you reflect on the defeat last time out? And what did you learn about your side that you can take into this match?
The last game was a different game. And like I said, it was a mid-game during the week, so it was a bit difficult for us regarding all the reasons that I told you. So I've learned every time that when we have a game. So every time that we have a game, We discuss about what we can learn from that. So now I think that it was not our best game with the ball, the last game. That's why we had the feeling that we were defending a lot, because when we won the ball, we didn't take care of the ball. We had a lot of struggle with that. So that's why for me, I will not change regarding that. The ball is so important for us. We need to take care of the ball. We need to recognize when we have to aggress also the opposition when this is the good moment. So it doesn't change in terms of the way I want to see my team plays. So now it's a different game tomorrow regarding the fact that this is a rivalry. So now it's going to be about emotion, to play with emotion, but also to balance the emotion. So for me, this is the key point for tomorrow.
Wilfried, you've had a lot of criticism about your system, and I know it's uncomfortable even asking.
A lot of good comments coming in from the chat. I just want to pull this up from North Korea, CSC. Good for showing your face, buddy. Kenny needs to start tomorrow. He might miss chances, but he's an outball. And I did feel against Motherwell we had nobody up front. I made the joke of Motherwell were either playing with 12 or we were playing with 10. And I would kind of agree that I think the team that played Livingston Aberdeen is the team that plays, and that includes Johnny Kenny up front. He has scored against Rangers, so like he's maybe got a wee bit of that in him. Thanks again for the support. Great comment. Oh, we've had another one, by the way. Thanks very much, guys. Happy New Year to you all. Mark, just don't feel a connection with Nancy. Does he understand the demands? And that's kind of what I mean. Somebody said earlier, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Stick your hand when he stops talking. You'll see him frozen if you're muting it. But there is some stuff that he does, and it's like, mate, like, you were saying a minute ago, I've followed games like this for ages. Kind of tells me he's putting Celtic Rangers in the category of, you know, River Boca and El Clasico and whatever, but he's not saying I've watched derby games in Glasgow and I get it, you know.
Yeah, but because it's just everywhere you
This question's about the style of play.
look, somebody's having a go and saying this system's just not going to work. Do you think about changing it?
So I change about, I think about changing every time something. So, but again, I do also my job regarding to analyze what we can do and have a look about all the goal that we conceded, and you're going to tell me if this is about the system. So I did it, and no.
So look at the goal we conceded and tell me it's about the system. He's blaming bad defending, bad goalkeeping, which I think we can all agree is kind of there. I think we can, there's clearly a segment, we all know the players aren't good enough for anyone's system. The club has been negligent in the transfer business, in the transfer window, and this can has been getting kicked down the road. He's now the one carrying the can for it. And, you know, like, is it the system? Well, yeah, when Scale, was it the Aberdeen goal, Scales and Trusty and Tierney, the system has gave openings.
It's not the case. So because we concede a lot of goals on set piece, the only moment when we had an issue with the system, and this is something normal, is when we play against La Roma, the second goal. But after that, it was not about the system because we had players. All the other goal that we conceded was we had many players inside the box, and sometimes it was a ping pong game, like I said, transition. So sometimes we have to go to score a goal, and we got caught, you know, in transition. So offensively, we had a really good moment also. Like I said, we watched with the players all the chances that we had since the beginning of the season, and I know that, you know, it could have been different in terms of wins. But again, I'm not a guy with a should have, could have, but this is a fact that at this moment, in terms of results, this is not what we want. But at the same time, I see a lot of things that I really like, and this is the direction that I like to take. And after that, the system, I want you to understand that I don't play with the back five. So this is useless to talk about this. I don't play with back five. The way we defend, most of the time, this is a back four, or it could be a back three. So after that, like every team, I repeat myself, when there is a situation when there is many players in front of our back line, so we have to get more players. And when you play the back four, sometimes you can have a back five or back six. So for me, this is useless to talk about that. What I want is to be good with the concept. And this is for me the most important. And I never said that I am a back 5 guy. I never said that. I play with back 4, I play with back 3, I play with back 2. For the moment, again, this is only the beginning.
The back 2. I think he wanted to say that in the first place, but he knows people will jump on him for that because it's like, you can't play with a back 2 in Scotland. You need to defend the box, pal. And there is a bit of that, right? I'm not saying there isn't, but it's really a back 2, Wilf, isn't there? There's not really much back 4 in or back 3 in, isn't there? Yeah, let's keep going.
I want to see certain things with that, and after that, I will analyze.
How would you describe the mood of the players right now?
Sorry?
How would you describe the mood of the players right now?
Like everyone. So, disappointing, but also we know why we are here. I think that we could have done better things at certain moments, but at the same time, the fact that we didn't win the game that we were supposed to win, obviously affected everyone. But now, if I am cold and I analyze the performance, again, we don't deserve to be there. But at the same time, we are not far because we are still close. So that's why it's all about the perspective. And as a manager, like I said, what I see every time, this is improvement. Yes, the game of Motherwell was a bit difficult for diverse reasons, and I knew that. But this is the way I want to go. This is the way I want to play. This is the way I know where we are now, and I know where do we want to go. And I really believe that we're on the right track.
Have you had to do anything to lift the morale?
I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, okay.
The spirit of the players.
Every day, when we win, there is also certain things that I don't like that we need to adjust. And when we lose, this is also the same things. Yes, it could be a bit deeper, but after that, I have to be factual. I have to see things. I have to show things, sorry. And after that, we discuss and try to improve.
Do you have to do anything special to prepare for this particular fixture? It's your first time in the Glasgow derby. Have you, researched it? Do you know what's about to be in front
Keith Jackson, Raging Blue Nose, asking this question.
of you?
Talking about
The atmosphere of this particular match.
No.
Fury around
if we put the result on the side, neutral side, a rivalry, I know what it is. Now, this kind of rivalry, like I said, I know also what does it mean, but I didn't live it. Mm-hmm. But yes, I have many people who talk about that. And also when I was in France, when I was in United States also, I have friends between Celtic and Rangers. So I know that. So I know what does it mean. So now the idea is control what we can control, is to be good for the practice, to review what we need to improve, to show what we did well, and to attack this game like a game that we want to attack.
But there's so much noise about the club this season. The fans have been unhappy with the board. They've been unhappy at times with yourself. Yeah. How important is it tomorrow for this game that everyone comes and is behind you, behind the team, and are united as kind of one?
No, this is not about being important. The fans want us to win games and to do well. So we know that. And us, we want to do well for the club, for the players, and also for the fans. And I know the meaning of that. So I know that this game is important. But what I can tell everyone is we're going to start this game knowing that it's not a normal game. We know that. And because this is the reality. But after that, I can say that this is not a normal game, but we still have to attack, we still have to defend, we still have to compete. So it will not change. What is going to change is the emotions. So if we are one up, how are we going to deal with that if they score? If we are one down, how are we going to deal with that to come back? So, and these emotions are more difficult to balance because of the context of the game. So that's why for me is something that we know, something that we are looking for. And the only thing to get good at that is to be clear and precise regarding what we want to do on the pitch.
Wilfried, we spoke after your first 4 games.
There's a little bit of word salad in there, wasn't it? I think, he's stopping short of saying, I know what this game means. And of course he can't know what the game means. Like you said himself, he's not lived it yet. But I think you can feel the intensity of how hot that seat is he's sitting in. And I'm sure in his mind he can maybe amplify that towards how it's going to go. if the weekend against Rangers doesn't go the way we want it to. But this is, as somebody said it in the chat, I seen Nancy before he came here, and I know a lot of you guys went and dug up into him before he came here as well. And a lot of the interviews and a lot of the stuff that he'd done, he had personality, he had a real bit of gravitas about him, he had something about him, like we like to say in Glasgow. And I'm not seeing this. I'm expecting at this point, imagine this was Ange. You know what I mean? And I know Ange takes some sticks, and I hate bringing him up in the Nancy thing. It's like a whole stepdad type situation, isn't it? But Ange wouldn't take any of this crap. And he'd be like, what do you think, mate? You tell me how many defenders I play with. You know, and he just wouldn't take any crap. And I'm not saying the journalists are necessarily overly giving him crap, but I'm not even sure he's giving them ammo, but he's taking punches in the, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but I think we all know what I'm saying here, that like, this isn't coming across well.
It was a difficult period and there was a lot of criticism, and you kind of admitted that it was a little bit of a surprise how ferocious things can be in this part of the world. But, you know, even just since the other night, Rod Stewart has been on social media saying things. I mean, are you starting to realize just how crazy the whole environment here is when you get a guy like Rod Stewart criticising you?
Yeah, I realize that, and this, everybody can talk. You know, I am who I am. I know what I want to do, and again, there is as you know, I came in the middle of the season, so this is a reality, and I'm pleased to be here. And after that, it's a famous club, so everybody can talk. So me again, I have nothing against that, and I can understand also because of the kind of results. But again, when we go deeper, like I said, I see what we need to do, and I see the improvements. And after that, not everybody can see that because we are so focused on results, and this is totally normal. When we win, we are happy. When we lose, this is difficult to accept. But at the same time, this is also the reality of this. And I'm not saying that I'm happy with that. I'm saying that we are working on that, and I know that we're going to be able to reverse that.
Have you felt under stress yourself over the last month, or have you been able to remain pretty calm?
Listen, the way I am as a coach, I put a lot of pressure on myself to be good and to find a good decision. And obviously, I saw the environment when they are not happy, but I knew that before I came. So yeah, this is part of the job.
Because this game means so much to supporters, does this feel like a big opportunity for you that if you win this game tomorrow, that you could maybe change the opinion of some of the supporters?
I'm not here to change the opinion on everything, on anybody. I'm here to do as best as I can.
Mate, again, I get the whole, like, you know, this is all like positive mindset stuff, really, that he's living, you know, where I don't need to prove anything to anyone. And I totally get where he's trying to live from here and trying to come from. But this isn't the situation for these platitudes. His answer to this should be, yeah, Celtic's a famous club. I've always wanted to manage a great club like Celtic, and I'm disappointed at how it's not went, and I hope that we can make it, you know, put your nuts on the table here, mate, and say, like, again, this is one of the things that I try and keep in my mind when I'm thinking about this stuff, right? I'm from Glasgow, you're whatever, we're all Celtic fans here, right? Let's imagine one of us was a football coach and we went to, let's not say America because it's too on the nose. Let's say you went to Brazil, right? And let's just say you were managing in Brazil. And I don't know, maybe Brazil's not a good example because it's a bit fiery there, isn't it? Let's say you were managing in Austria, right? Let's say you were managing in Austria. You're Scottish. You're working in Austria for Salzburg, for Vienna's, whoever you want to think about. And then you got offered the job to go and be the River Plate manager. Totally different continent, totally different league, huge step up in club. And you know, it's a famous club attached with a big rivalry and all the rest of it. You would see that as your big shot, you know, like a big club. It's the closest thing a lot of people, when they become Celtic manager, have ever gotten to being at the European elite level, whether that be Premier League, Champions League, however you want to think about the food chain, the pyramid on football. And I put myself in that situation. I think, imagine you were that type of person, you were a manager, a coach, and you got like the River Plate job, or you got the even like an Ajax or a Feyenoord. Of course, Celtic and Rangers come into this, a Benfica, a Porto. You got into one of those clubs, and you would absolutely give your everything at it. You would see it as a huge opportunity, a huge club. But on top of that, like I would anyway, knowing from being a Celtic fan, right? I think you would, and again, I've said this about Paulo Bernardo, Jota, a few other guys over the years, even Juranovic, I think had a bit of this about them. The guys that you feel that have been close to that sort of environment before or have any sort of association to it. When we sign like these guys and they come to Celtic and they get it, that happens. And I think if like a Celtic, this little hypothetical we're chatting about here, if you became the River Plate manager or the Boca manager, you would have a way better clue. And fair enough, it's South America, so it's even crazier in some different categories of how it goes, of what to expect, of how the fans want to hear you talking, but the day before battle, you've lost 4 games out of 7 or whatever the hell it is at this point. You're on the cusp of surpassing John Barnes, who, mate, and again, I get where he's coming from or the position he's trying to hold with a lot of these comments and statements, but it's just not gravy. It's just not, you're not in and again, the wrong movie thing comes into my head as we're talking. This isn't the movie for, the most important game of my career is the next one. And I understand rivalry because I grew up in France and I've played in America and I've had friends that are Celtic and Rangers fans. Whether that's true or not, whatever, I don't know. I was even thinking, like, being from the French fans, some of them are pretty nuts. You should have a good grasp on. Maybe our ultras aren't like the Marseille and the PSG guys are like proper thugs, like violent when they really go off on one. I think we've all seen that over the years. And yeah, we're not at that level, but the demands, the passion is all quite similar. And what you guys are saying, I'm sometimes in the jock scene. I've not had a ticket this season, to be honest with you, but I'm normally around that way. You can see the camera angle in the intro segment. I don't know if my example or my little kind of thing I was sharing there made sense. I hope it did. But you can tell, like, if this guy was kind of what I'm saying, right? See if this guy was a Boca Juniors fan, a Benfica fan, take your list of big rivalries from around the world. It doesn't need to be in the UK or Europe necessarily. Even if it was a Marseille or a PSG, I would think he would then have that extra touch to the situation that he clearly doesn't have. And it's rather upsetting listening to in this press conference so far.
I'm here to help the team to win. And after that, the opinion will change or not. But the most important is, can you imagine? I need to, as a job, I have to do my job. And you're asking me to think about what people are going to think about me. No, I know, depending what we're going to do, how everything can go regarding that. So again, this is the opinion. This is opinion. So I want the best for the club. This is the most important. I want the best for my players. This is the most important. And obviously, we want to win games. That's why I'm here. So
again, I totally get where he's sending this from, but you've came from America to a European institution, a big club. Why? To advance your career, to advance your reputation. Yes, you want the best for the club and the players and all the rest of it, but there's no scope on this of, like, I can't say it any other way, but yeah.
Wilfried, we just spoke to your new signing. Can you tell us what he brings to Celtic and has he got a chance of starting tomorrow?
So he brings freshness, new energy, and also he's a young, talented player. Can play on the side as a fullback or wing back. So yes, he hasn't played a lot recently, but he's going to be able to help us. So he's going to be in the group, yes, for tomorrow.
Wilfried, when you look at this particular fixture, the derby, sometimes people just need one game to help.
How many questions is Keith Jackson going to get? That's the 3rd or 4th question he's had by now. Yeah, I mean, the club are letting in Bluebeaks to grill our manager before a derby, and they won't let the bold Quinny in or anyone else. Come on, Celtic. Look at, we're letting all these guys do the talking and set the narrative. Come on.
Something and change the sort of mood and build momentum. Is this the ideal game for you right now to be given this opportunity? If you beat Rangers at home, you can unite everyone again.
If I can do it, yes. And this is the idea, to win this game. And after that, I know that if we win this game, so again, the fans gonna be happy, everybody's gonna be happy because this is the way it is football. So now again, like I said, we want to win every game. I know that this game tomorrow is important because of the rivalry, but doesn't change the desire to win, the desire to compete, the desire to do well. So now, yes, I know the context. I know that.
How difficult is it, Wilfried, though, to shut out the outside noise? Because
Sorry?
how difficult is it to shut out the outside noise? Because there are a lot of people outside who think if Celtic lose tomorrow, you are under so much pressure that you might pay for it with your job. How difficult is it to close that out and shut that out?
I cannot do anything against that. This is what they say. This is the context, the narrative that they want to use. So again, me, I'm focused on preparing my team well, play the way we want to play, and to maximize our chance to win. And after that, the noise, I cannot control the noise. Like I said, I would like that the noise be nice. When we won 2 games, the noise was better. So now we lost the last game, so the noise came back to the normal, I would say. But again, this is part of my job. This is part of my job. I'm not afraid of that. I
Good.
am afraid of, not afraid, but I just want my team to play with personality, to do what they can do, and after that, we'll see.
Do you agree with the narrative, though, Wilfried? The narrative that if you were to lose this game, your position might be...
Keith Jackson again, and it's all about this game. Can they get people back on side? And, you know, like, Keith Jackson's trying to get him the sack in the press conference, man. Celtic, come on, man.
Difficult.
I'm not here to... For me, I don't have to answer this question because perspective is everything. So this is a perception of people. They can be right, they can be wrong. I don't mind, but perspective is everything.
Have you had conversations with the guys in the board? Do you still feel as though you've got the complete backing of everyone at the club upstairs in the board of directors? Yeah. Have you had conversations with them this week?
I know that the board is with me and the club is with me and the players are with me and so on.
Do you feel as if you have your first signing in now? Do you feel as if the board are going to support you to bring the players you need to make this team the way you want it? And do you think we'll see the real Celtic team the way you envision it?
Yes, step by step, because you can imagine, and again, I know that you do your job. I know that your job is to attack me or to ask me a lot of questions. No problem with that. This is your job. My job is to be coach. Your job is to ask questions and to go all in with me. But again, this is only the beginning.
That is one thing I do need to, I constantly try and sober myself to the situation with. He's not even been our manager for a month. And yeah, there is some waffle and there is some stuff we're chatting about today. I see you guys talking about it also, right? The results have been terrible. I'm not changing anything or excusing anything. Don't get me wrong, right? But the team was pretty bad anyway. He's changed quite a lot. And I think, like, you know, with the exception of the last match, the progress in such a short period of time, I don't want to call it impressive or remarkable or anything like that, but it is on the positive side. Like, over this whole time, I know you guys are going to say, Quinny, the players do look clueless, but it's not as if everyone is completely abject, useless, and we've looked terrible, we've created chances, we've won games. I know nothing's perfect. No comment is absolutely true. Please stay with me here. And it is something to maybe sober into the situation again, you know, is like he hasn't even been in the job for a month. Hasn't even had his first salary pay yet. Has he even been paid off as yet?
Usually we have 4 weeks of preseason. 4, 5.
Not at Celtic, buddy. Who's told him he's getting 4 or 5 weeks of preseason? We're going to have Champions League qualifiers. Yeah, nut job. We're not getting 4 or 5 weeks of preseason.
I didn't have preseason. I know why. I came 2 days after I have a game. And the game that we should have won, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, if you know the way it happens. So now, the reality is...
Should we have won the Hearts game? Now, I had a poll running in the chat. Striker haircut. I'll give you another minute to vote on it. Should I not cut my hair until we sign a striker? Should I only cut my hair when we sign a striker? I'll leave that open for another minute. Vote away. It's unanimously yay, of course, but and I'll start another one. So we'll probably do that. Stay tuned for social media posts on that, right? But should we have beat Hearts? Should we have beaten Hearts? You guys let me know what you think. I can't remember the details of it. I know we created chances and stuff, but
before I came, I knew that if I don't win games, I'm going to be in trouble because this is part of the job. Okay. But I'm pleased to be here. I know where.
Yeah. These are reminding me where it was the first half was great, wasn't it? And yeah. I'm kind of, and yeah, I need to check back on things to refresh my memory. But thanks, guys, for helping me. Yeah, a lot of great comments there about the match being 90 minutes long and such. I'm with you.
We are now. That's why I said the Motherwell game. I'm not an underdog. I want my team to compete against any team. Any team. I repeat, any team.
And that's why I like this guy. I want a bit of that. I was kind of happy we played the way we did against Roma. Like, we shouldn't be... If we're going to play attacking football, then we attack everyone, you know? And if you can get that to work, again, so many of you guys have been in this comment section or in other channels. We want the guy from Bodo. We want the guy from Bruges. Why do we want guys like that? Because they can be the margin. They can bridge the gap. Now, I'm not saying Nancy's that guy, right? But Nancy is in the category of somebody who could be that guy. And that's why I was excited by the appointment. And I'm trying to give this guy every chance imaginable. It gets harder, but it gets harder. Should have definitely beaten Dundee United. I would agree with that. I just couldn't really remember the Hearts game that well as we were chatting about it just now. 67% of you guys agree so far that we should have beaten Hearts.
But with the context, I knew that this kind of situation happened. So now, as you know, I need time. I know that I don't have time because this is the way it is in my job. But with the small amount of time that I had, I saw things that we did better when I had team for 4 weeks in preseason. So, yes, I want to ask you, give me time and you see my team. You're going to see what I'm going to do because you can see already what I did before because I didn't start yesterday. So if you do your job, you're going to be able to see what I did in the past, the way I play, what I want to do, the way I want to defend, the way I want to attack. It's clear. And now if you have not compare because I don't like to compare because the culture is different and so on. And when you see now, obviously, people are not happy, your fans and people, and me too, I'm not happy. Because this is, I see only a few glimpses regarding what I do. But I'm pleased with that because this is only 12 or 13 sessions that we did. This is the context. Like tomorrow, the context is a big.
And yeah, like I've said there earlier, in terms of the context, this is maybe the section that gets a bit animated, so I'll try and let this run consistently while we go through it. But he's had 12 sessions, he said there. And if you do think of that in a pre-season context, that's a fortnight, you know, like he's not had, and again, considering he's not even been the manager, I think there is caveats. There's context to the situation, his word.
Game. But me, my context is I have only 13 practices with my team. And usually we have 4 weeks of preseason. So it's totally normal that you guys, you kill me. I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Because I know where do I want to go. Judge me in a few weeks, month. But if you want to judge me now, you can do it because it's fact that, and it's new also for me that
I like the idea of Nancy because the one thing and me and Ryan 118 had a very good chat about this when he did the collab with us on the channel, right? But see, my life growing up, right? I was spoiled in the sense of when I was coming in the back end of primary school, going into high school, was Martin O'Neill and even Gordon Strachan towards the back end of that period. And even Neil Lennon did very well for us in Europe for a time. And for me, being a Celtic fan, right? The thing that gets me motivated, passionate, excited about following Celtic and thinking about next season, thinking about the next window is the aspirational element of the club. Could we get a scalp? Could we do something memorable this year in European football? And again, I'm not going to get into the whole conversation of how crap Ange was in Europe, the deficiencies Brendan kind of had all the way through his time in Europe, and we've never really had any European presence. But again, I reference Bodo's and Bruges and everyone else that Celtic fans have highlighted as teams we should be like, and the way we should set up, and we should be as good as Midgetland at this stuff. And Nancy, and I say it's the idea of Nancy. So it might not be him, maybe the guy that follows him. It might be, sadly, depending on if this goes badly, it might not be a guy like him again anytime soon, which is something I am actually fearful for, because again, you could get lucky with like I don't know, a Scott Brown type person in a year or two or whatever. But if we do fall back into type of, you know, just one-dimensional managers again, that, you know, Brendan Rodgers is great and all the rest of it, but there's pros and cons to it. I want a coach. I want a guy that makes lemonade out of lemons. I want a guy that problem solves. I want a guy that, like this guy's like, I'm not an underdog. We're Celtic. I'm here. I didn't come here to be an underdog. I came here to win. That's what I want in a Celtic manager. I want a Celtic manager that, despite the board saying Europe's a bonus and blah, 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 all that crap, I want a manager that's got the mindset of, we're in this competition and I'm going to make sure we win every match I possibly can. So I was a fan of the guy coming in. My opinion on him changes hourly, daily, weekly. But above all else, like, the thing about him that keeps me wanting to give him team time is that if he works, it will be so much of what I've wanted for Celtic in recent times. Not the tactics necessarily, or what, but it's what the Ange gave us it. Ange, and that's why everyone loved Ange. And I hate bringing him up again. I'm really sorry. The whole stepdad syndrome kicking in again. But Ange dealt with the lemons in the boardroom, made lemonade out of it. Yeah, Europe, it was a bit too, we could take anyone on, let's go for it. And it didn't quite work out for us, fine. But that was a big part of what everyone bought into. So much so that people were saying, like, wouldn't it be great if we got into the Europa League because we could win it and stuff? You know, that was the level that kind of personality brought to the club. Brendan kind of does it in some ways because he's got that Premier League level. And again, big conversation we could go into, we're not going to today. But that's what I would say about Nancy, is he feels like somebody that could pick up from where Ange left off and make us, by hook or by crook, whether we like it or not, by design or by accident, into a Bruges, a Bodo Glimt, or whoever that Celtic want to put on the wall and say, we want to be like them. It's a manager like this that will help us get there. Now, we still have a lot of problems. Backroom structure, again, it's a big conversation we're not going to get into today. But he would be a piece of, if we went the way we wanted to go, he would be a piece of, or somebody like him, how that happens.
I didn't have the result, and we didn't have the result that we wanted. It's a fact. I cannot deny that. But do your job before, and I know that you do it. Have a look about the way I am as a coach, the way I am as a manager, and what I want to bring for the team, and you will see that we are not there yet. New players, a bit of time. Few players have been here for 5, 6, 7 years. They were doing certain things in a certain way. No kidding that it takes time. Guys, seriously. I'm going to be a liar if I say, yeah, everything is happy. Everything is good. No, this is not the case. But I knew that before. Because this is part of my job.
Again, we'll get to it as it gets going, but I don't mind what I'm hearing and seeing so far. He's just had enough. He's like, guys, let's be real. Let's be real. Let's cut the crap here. I don't mind that so far.
So that's why I'm calm regarding all the questions that you asked me. I'm not pleased to hear that people doesn't like me and so on. What I'm going to say, they have the right to say it, because in terms of results, this is not what we want. But if you do your job, you can see what I do. And if you are a bit patient, I know that we cannot be patient in this job, but you're going to be able to see what I can do. Not I, my team, my players. But for the moment, this is a tornado. I knew that. If it's easy to handle that, no. But I'm ready for that. So this is my message. for everyone, fans, you guys, all the people. This is the reality. And we knew that before with the board when I came. It's totally normal that my player needs a bit of time. It's totally normal that my player could be confused at certain moments. Because it's a process. I don't like the word process because sometimes people that think that I'm going to hide behind process. But it's true. Judge me, no problem. But have a look, analyze since I'm here, all the game that we played, and analyze if we should have won the game or lose the game. Do it. Because this is your job. Do it. But I don't like to.
Wilfried Nancy is asking for someone to do the content that we do on CeltsAreHere. We don't want that, Wilfried. We like being in our lane. We don't want it to get crowded here. If you want that type of content, Wilfried Nancy, then you need to subscribe to the channel for more.
To make assumption, I am a clear guy. For the moment, I cannot talk. I shut my mouth because result, Wilfried, not good enough.
That's why I say this post-match comments the other day, it felt like he just wanted to say nothing, you know.
I shut my mouth and I take it. But I know where we are going. After that, if it's going to work or not, I don't know. But I know that we're going to do everything to do it. I'm here for that. And after that, yes, I want to win every game. Yes, I want to bring title to Celtic. Yes, I want to create memory. I want to create a legacy here. Yes, I'm going to die for this club. For sure. But context. And I suffer with that. Not about the criticism, because this is part of my job. I suffer that, I know that if he gets in this position, we're going to be able to outplay the opposition. But for the moment, he's not ready to do it. For the moment, we play only with back three offensively. But if you do your job, you're going to see that I'm not a back three guy. I attack in a different ways. But my players need time to understand what I want to do. This is my message. And after that, we'll see. But my job is, this is not normal, but expect the expected. You don't win, you get killed. You win, okay.
Wilfried, to be fair though, you're saying about us being here to kill you. We're saying this because of the experience that we have.
And again, there's some negative comments to those comments he's just made there, but I kind of like hearing that, like a bit of bite back, a bit of fight back, standing up for himself a bit in the regard of, like, let's be real, when you want to judge me now, go for it, but, you know, you're probably better off judging me after I've had a bit more time and signed a player or two, although he's not said anything about judge me after signing players or anything. Again, it's hard to, a lot of, if you actually, I don't want to sound cheeky, but if you actually listen to precisely what he's saying, it's kind of hard to, the whole out his depth stuff, I'm there. We've been chatting about that in the previous segments of this press conference. But at this moment right now, I'm not too sure that's the moment for that.
Being in Glasgow, being in Scotland, and the reaction to Celtic not winning.
Yes.
From the stands, that's what we're...
Understand me well. I understand that perfectly. I understand that perfectly. And people they have the right to be not happy, yeah? So I understand that. In all my clubs that I went, connection with the fan was spot on. Now I came in the middle of the season. They were winning, we lose. So I need time. And I understand the context. I understand that Celtic is Celtic. I understand that the culture here, it could be different and so on. I understand everything. But I don't like to promise things. I could have been the guy saying that I'm going to promise that we're going to get results. Come on. Come on. What I'm going to promise you is that I'm going to do everything to go back on track and to be consistent, not go back on track because we've been in track, because the season is like that. But again, I'm not a big guy with standing. And I realize where I am, because if I'm not mistaken, we are only second. And we control.
Dude.
We are able to control many things because the season is long. But because we lost few games, This is like we are last. So I understand the context. And I want to please my players, to please the club, to please the fan, because this is why I do this job. But for the moment, yes, I understand the narrative. I'm not saying that I accept it, but this is another debate.
Do you think that some of the criticism is unfair then, whether that be...
No,
Almost
I'm not
finished.
here to talk about be unfair or fair. People can say, you are different from the guy next to you. You are different from the guy next to you. Maybe you're going to say something different. You don't have the same perspective. I don't know. I'm not here to judge or to say anything about that. It's a fact.
How much time should fans expect to wait then? That's the thing. Because with the greatest respect.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, what a stupid question.
They've already saw their side lose the league, the League Cup.
Yeah, but
second isn't good enough at this club. So how much should fans have to wait? What's the time scale for?
I didn't say that second was good. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Understand me well. I know that I am a French guy, but I never said that.
Okay.
I just gave the context where we are now. So after that, you told me about time. I'm not trying to buy time. I cannot buy time in my job. The only moment to buy time is when we win games. I know that. I have to win games, and we have to win games to buy time. This is the job. So that's why I don't have an answer for you. What I know is every day we train, every day you try to be better, every time you try to improve. This is something that I can quantify. But after that, the time is subjective. The time is to win games. So that's why I cannot answer your question.
Okay, Wilfried, just finally, what do you expect from Rangers?
Again, rivalry game. The coach is gonna have, the manager will have the same discussion as myself with their players, and it's gonna be a big game. I know that at this moment we don't have the result that we want, so they're gonna try to maximize that. But us, we are ready to accept this challenge, and we are ready to face this team because we know that we play at Celtic Park. We know that we want to do well, and we're gonna do well.
Some of you had had enough of that. Fair enough for bearing with me. I don't actually think I heard anything too wild compared to some of the pre-chat that we had for it. The first segment of it, I was lost with some of the, oh, man, you're not taking this approach kind of angle. But I really liked it when he kind of lost the plot. I like that. See if he started it with that, and there's a bit more of this is Celtic, this is what you live for. This is why you become a coach, to play in these games. That's the kind of chat that fits here, Not that you're telling everyone what to do and what to say and whatever, but anyway. We had to look at the depth chart earlier. I think if I can just reset everything, we'll try and have a look at the match, the preview, because we're playing a pretty big game this weekend, guys. You might have noticed. We're playing the blue side, and yeah, that's how they're expected to line up. I'm not sure Mikey Moore is fit and available. Bernardo's not going to play for us. I think we can almost certainly guarantee that. I personally think we're going to see a return of Johnny Kenny, like some of you have mentioned before. I think Hatate is going to drop to the bench. I think we'll get Kenny back on from the start. Because I do think the best thing about us is being the left-hand side. So Scales is going to come out. Tierney will drop into defence. And then who do we need to grab? Engels and McKeown. Engels, McKeown. Is he on the screen? No, where the hell is he? I lost my mind. Oh, there he is. I actually think the left-hand side has worked really well for us overall. And depending on it, I'm not really too sure how they're going to line up. I think from what we've seen of them, like in the Derby match when Martin O'Neill was manager, I think you're probably going to expect it maybe looking a bit like this off the ball. Diamande, Raskin, Asgard will be a midfield three. Mikey Moore will kind of be picking a side to go with, or whatever side the ball's going down. I think it'll be a bit like this from them. And I think, the movement of Dyson in and around here, your McKeowans and your Tierneys, I think this is our best path to success. Sorry, I need to have a drink. Now, can Kenny come up with enough to get a goal in this one? It'll be a difficult one. Time will tell. I think if Araujo's been training for 2 days, 3 days, it's kind of hard to imagine that he doesn't start, to be quite honest with you. I just don't know how he drops Yang, personally. I think he likes Yang, and I don't know how he starts him over Ralston, given the fact it's a derby match, etc. But I think, yeah, maybe you take Yang from the bench, you start Araujo for that kind of fresh blood, fresh intensity against that Magoma, who is like championship level. Where did they get him from? Chef Wed or something? That could work out quite nicely. And then if we've got like this ticking over on the left-hand side, and then we get a new kind of whip running down the right, giving us something to use on this side of the pitch, it could work out quite nicely. CFC aren't very good. McCowan on the bench, Yang on the... So, you know, I don't actually mind the sound of that because Yang's look good, but I think what we would then get is a similar version to what we got against Motherwell, where when we had Tierney out here and whatnot, like, I just think they're too... Like, these guys are going to then stay wide, aren't they? Whereas the McCowan-Maeda thing works really well because of how they alternate and then attack the space. I get the logic behind it. It's not impossible. Could see it. But no, I think McCowan's been so important. I think McCowan has to play. Their defence is terrible. And, well, do you know, it's going to be a case of set-piece City again, isn't it? Because, you know, they're going to love set-pieces with the likes of Suter and Fernandez and Chermite. They're going to be right up for it. Be a bit of a battle. I think home advantage hopefully helps us for this one. To maybe give us a bit of the 12th man element into this. Can tell after 10 minutes what game it's going to... Kenny won't start, no chance. You don't think so? You think he'll play Hatate and keep Maeda up front? I think that would be rather brave. Would rather start Shin over Kenny. Not for me. Kenny's at least scored against these guys already, so I would play him. And again, we kind of had Benji up here in the Motherwell game in a quasi kind of roundabout way and still allowed Dyson to do his job. It didn't really work. I don't think I would... I would be going with Kenny to start this one. You can always change things later on. You can read the game as it happens. Yeah, great point, Media Mushroom. And I'm just trying to keep up with the chat a little bit. These are popping off. Guys, we've had a great show today, by the way. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. I'm really excited for Araujo. I think if he starts, like, it could be one of these guys that's like a derby hero on the day. What would we think, but if he did start? Like, see if this is the way... See if this is the way he started, by the way. Like I say, I would be excited. I would be right up for the game. I would get very quickly up to speed. In terms of, like, let's just go for it, man. Let's just YOLO. Because this could be... It could be something, you know, because Ralston, as we know, has been a bit of a dead weight in this position. And if you could get something really added into the equation, it could change a lot of the team really quickly. We're talking about the benefit of Araujo being here to get a better Ralston, but maybe having Araujo in at right centre back, if that was to happen, would somehow give you a better team because the balance, the symmetry, the whole thing would be a bit better rounded. Huns will play long balls. Yeah, I can see that totally. It's going to be Chermite versus Trusty. That's going to be a 1v1. And with Trusty just being, again, losing mind games to Ibrahim Said after losing mind games to Aaron Donnelly of Dundee last year, they're definitely going to be saying, get into Trusty's face, Asgard, Raskin, Diamande. Someone is going to try and set Trusty off. Make no mistake about it. The boy Mikey Moore fancies himself. He's got a bit about him. You can maybe see him trying to show up and cause some bother as well. And yeah, you maybe do want Araujo because Ralston's got no pace in recovery. Maybe this is... Guys, see if we start like this. We beat them, don't we? Oh, I don't know if I'm being silly saying that, but I think we do, by the way. If we get that left-hand side back together and we make the right-hand side better, then surely the whole team's better? I don't know. I'm maybe just getting in a wee bit of giddy optimism here. So I've signed a player that I kind of know will be good as long as it's kind of like Sriracha. I knew Sriracha would be good if it would translate well. And again, he's injured. How great's he been? But same kind of vibe where I like the signing, like the profile, like everything the guy brings, and I'm quite excited to get it going. Right. I cannot predict Celtic lose this game on a lot of levels, right? The bias one being the only one that probably matters. Okay. I think we're going to win this game. Well, okay. I think we're not going to lose this game. I think I'll start off with that. I don't think we're going to lose this game. I'm not sure that Rangers have more goals in their team than we do, ultimately. And I was saying this on my earlier show that I had today, but Raskin, Diamande, Suter, Tavernier, they're the only 4 guys that I look at in that Rangers team and think they are derby ready. They're battle hardened. They know what they're getting themselves into. Now, don't get me wrong, Asgard gets sent off at Hampden, didn't he? Some of these guys have played a derby match already. But I look at our team, Tierney, ready. McKeown, Engels, McGregor, all ready. Maeda, ready. Negren, Yang, Kenny. Maybe there's less like, oh yeah, they're derby ready guys. But I think Negren and Yang will take to the field day okay for us if selected. And Kenny's had form for this game before, so you just cross your fingers that wish upon a star happens for Kenny tomorrow. Could be a draw. It could be a draw. I think draws are really tough things to predict in football, just period. It will be interesting. Who's the ref? Do we know? He's good, man. He's good. Trust me. He's good. Will it work? Will it translate? That's the big question. With everyone we sign, managers, players, whatever, but like the guy is good. We've not signed. And again, the main thing that's annoyed me about Celtic's transfer policy is I'm not like the be all and end all. I'm not a mad know-it-all. But I do expect to know who we're signing. And so many players we've signed over the last 2 years, I've not had a Scooby-Doo clue who the hell they are. And again, not to make me sound like anything, but it's just because I pay attention to so much. If I've not heard of somebody, I think that's saying something, normally. And don't get me wrong, sometimes, like, what the fuck do I know? Matt O'Reilly, Tuneke even could be half okay eventually. I'm trying to think who else there might have been. 1 or 2 that have surprised me. And I now, like, pause, but like Lager, BLK, Naroki, Palma, lots of these guys, I'm like, who the hell are they and why are we giving them 5 million for them? Oh, David Dickinson, is it? Great. Clancy on VAR. Kuhn, yeah, Kuhn was not on my radar at all. I thought that was a good bit of scouting from the club, totally. So I always kind of resist, but when they sign guys that I know, and I'm like, oh, this like Sirachi, Negren, I'm trying to think, Maeda, Kyogo, Hitate, I would add him into that, and Araujo, like Alistair Johnson. When they sign guys I know are good, I'm always like, oh, this is a good one. Let's see it. I thought Iwata would have been better. Don't think I'm alone there, but otherwise, exactly. That's part of the problem we've got here is we're still living in that price bracket where there's a lot of jeopardy. The move might not work. They might not be good enough. Never mind the normal stuff, like they might not get Celtic. They might not adapt to the league. But you're then like, is the guy, even if that stuff works out, will he even be good enough? And that's maybe the thing that's happened with Yang. Yang has adapted, has played a lot, has had chances. But then the question's been, is he, Johnny Kenny, is he ever going to be actually good enough? And Yang's showing glimpses of he can maybe bridge that. Johnny Kenny felt like he was maybe showing a bit of that under O'Neill, and it's quickly evaporated. But I'm excited for Araujo. I always like it when I'm confident. Like, yeah, that's a guy I would, if my job was on the line, I worked at Celtic, I would buy a guy I'd sign a guy like that. But yeah, I'm going to say we're definitely not losing. I'm going to go on a limb and say that we win, right? Because who else will we have available? Do we have actually a bit of a bench to use, maybe? Yeah, maybe not, actually. Yeah, Hitate, Donovan, Murray. A lot of reports that JSP is going back to Manchester. We get Shin. Yeah, the bench isn't... I don't think the Araujo inclusion really does much to really make the bench any more interesting. So I don't think we're bringing Ralston on to change the game. Forrest is the other one that would be maybe usable. Bernardo. I think Bernardo's days are numbered. I've been saying that for a few months. I just don't know how he can stay at Celtic much longer. We need midfielders, so we can't really let him leave until we get somebody, but 3-2s and 4-2s. How many goals do I think Celtic could score here? I think Celtic could score 3 or 4. Do we? I'm going to say Celtic win this 2-1. 2-1 to the Hoops. Who's going to score the goals? I don't know. It's all eyes on the front three. I'm really blind going into this game. I think we win 2-1. I think we win. Maybe the scoreline flatters them. Maybe we're missing lots of chances and stuff. I'll look into that. I wouldn't rule it out necessarily. I don't know who that guy is. There is a lot of desperate before a derby, but in this situation, how can we not be desperate? I'll be back on tomorrow. We could score 3 or 4. This Rangers come on, man. Come on. Will we is another question. But I can see us, we're at home. I can see us making chances. I can't see us scoring 1. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Maybe we don't. You know what I mean? It's not a clear-cut thing. You could be very well correct on that. I think we could. That's what I'm saying. I think we could score 3 or 4, but we won't. And we'll score we win 1-0, we win 2-1. That's kind of where I'm talking myself into here. Both teams to score feels quite inevitable. A penalty for somebody feels like it'll happen. I think 2-1 to the Hoops. I think 2-1 to the Hoops. Yeah. I take a 3-0 or something crazy like that, but I think that's the way it'll sit ultimately. But yeah, thanks to everyone that tuned in. And I'll see you tomorrow for a breakdown. What we do? Yeah, we'll do a wee special derby post-match breakdown. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in today. It's been a great week of content. Thanks to everyone that's tuned into it on the CeltsAreHere channel. And yeah, fingers crossed, say your prayers. And enjoy your booze, Zamora. It's going to be a long game, it feels like. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully it's one of those ones where the tide turns, things fall into place, and, we can just get this show on the road properly, however that actually transpires. Thanks again, everyone, for all the support in 2025. It's been incredible. CeltsAreHere is growing and growing, and it's all down to you guys. Liking, subscribing, sharing, hyping, and retweeting, and all that good stuff, guys. When I end the stream, the comment section will open up, and that's where you leave your receipts on the internet. What is your score prediction for the Rangers game? Who will be the man of the match, the standout player? Leave it in the comment sections, and then when it's all said and done and we come back tomorrow, you can get those receipts out and tell me you were right. Hail, hail. Have a great night. Happy New Year. Thanks again for everything, and Mon the Hoops. Travel safe if you're going to the game.